Hello, everyone. I hope each of you are well and that you are exploring things, new things. You're exploring new places near and afar, and especially finding new ways to relate to others. Have you ever felt unprotected by a black man in a relationship or just on the street, period? Have you ever felt unprotected? Yes or no? Put it in the comments. Have you ever been treated like this?
Look, bitch, we ain't going through this again.
Do you constantly feel like you can't voice your own opinions, your own thoughts, because you don't want to be perceived as the aggressive black woman, the disrespectful woman, the non-submissive woman, or simply the stubborn woman? Well, I felt like that a lot, and especially a lot lately. I've been on Clubhouse listening to some interesting conversations that have transpired between black women and black men. I also had my own personal experience with a friend of mine. I'm going to call him a friend or an associate of mine that I've known for years. We got a group of men that are no longer respecting women, and it's been this way for a while. They're no longer opening doors. They won't allow us to speak. They won't allow us to go first. You're driving, they'll run you over on the street, and they'll even tell you that they have no respect for you. Have you ever been in a relationship with a friend or with a man that you know, and you constantly feel like you are in fear of voicing your own perspective? I no longer want to not speak when I feel like I should have a voice. I no longer want to feel like I have to shrink myself as a plus size woman, and especially also as a black woman. I understand that there is a generation of dysfunction that has occurred in our community. I understand that we have misogynistic behaviors, or misogyny is real. There's a lack of godly characteristics that are evident in our society amongst our black men that have caused many men to abject protection as a God-given right. Ladies, let me encourage you to continue to feel empowered, to speak in love, and include your perspective in the conversation and in a relationship, right? We don't have to shrink ourselves. And just keep in mind, I said speak in love and feel empowered. There are some great black men who are protectors, who will come to our aid, who have come to our aid in need. I had a conversation with a friend that, you know, I learned a lot. Let me say that I learned a lot, and I'm going to share with you what I learned from this conversation. This is a time, for the first time in many of my conversations with this person, that I have decided to include my voice in the conversation. I thought that it will allow us to have cordial discourse. I thought that it will allow us to share our perspectives. And you know how that people, it's common for us to say we're going to respectfully disagree. So I agree to disagree with you. That wasn't the case. After the conversation was over, I was later told that I had respect for you. And I thought that was interesting because this person I knew for years, but because I was able to voice, which I hadn't done before in this conversation, with this particular friend, I was told that that person no longer respects me. I said, okay, that's interesting. Now, this is also a person who feels like blacks are inferior to whites. So that's just to kind of give you a background of this person. And then I said, and I thought, are we not allowed to challenge the perspectives of our friends, or are our loved ones, or anybody at this point as a black woman? Would this be an issue with me making my voice heard if I were not a black woman, or especially if I was not a plush size black woman? I want to believe that it doesn't always have to do with size, but sometimes you have to wonder, are you made to feel like you should accept and be willing to participate in anything because of your size or because of our skin tone? Disrespect. But here's what I learned. Here's what I learned about all of this. The conversation, I'm glad we had it, because I learned that we have to sometimes categorize our relationships, right? What do I mean by that? So sometimes we have friends that these are friends that we care about. So we send them a text or we call them and say, hey, how are you doing? We have this category of friends that are your think tank friends. You have a category of friends that are your think tank friends. These are the friends that you can bounce ideas on. You can talk about work, your work issues. You all may have careers in common that you can talk about, and you problem solve, and you can talk about politics with them. And this is your group of friends that you can disagree and walk away and know that it's okay, because we all have a diversity of thought, right? And you have these friends that I think are what I call my resting place friends. These are the friends who are your motivational friends. These are the people who encourage you. This may even be your mentor. These are people you call and you know if you need encouragement, you can get it from them. So not everyone, this conversation let me know not everyone can understand your story. Not everyone can relate to your narrative, but you still can continue to share your narrative with the right people, right? And even if it isn't the right people, you can feel empowered and you lose nothing by sharing your narrative. What I have also learned is that I'm accountable for my truth. I'm accountable for how I treat people, right? So this was just a reminder of that to me. I am not accountable for how they accept my truth. I am not accountable for how they respond to me. I stress on this channel, if you notice, a lot that I hope that we are learning new ways to relate to people. And I say that sincerely because it reinforces that we have to be flexible in our own thinking. It reinforces that relationships are two-way. They're usually transactional. And it's the coming together of different people, right? And we learn that. And I think that learning how to relate to new people also helps you to transform your own perspectives. It helps you. There may be people that challenge your thoughts, your attitudes, your behaviors. And you may sit back and say, yeah, whoa, that was deficit thinking. Or the way I thought about that, here's a new way to look at it. And then you have this permanent change in your attitude and in your beliefs or in your behavior. And it makes for a better you. And I think that should be what we strive for when we're relating to other people. I want to thank Black men who are our protectors, because there are tons of them that I know, and I'm sure you know, tons of Black men who are our protectors. I think so often we focus so much on Black men providing for us financially as women in relationships, or just providing everything that sometimes they can't give, or they don't know how to give, or they've been in a position where they haven't been able to provide. But that's why we need to have conversations, and we need to be able to speak openly and honestly to one another. I want Black men to know, and here's your charge. If you're not a protector, understand that we are your sisters. We are your nieces. We are your aunties, and we need you. We need you to show up for us, because do you understand, as a Black man, when you show up in a black woman. You showing up for the entire black community, for black families. You can be that transformation that the world needs to see. Just because you are showing up for your black woman and black women, right? We are not going to let one or two or three or four black men deter us or make us think that our black men as a whole don't protect us, because it's not all. What we will do is we're going to continue to work. We're going to stand in our truth. We're going to feel empowered to share our narratives, share our perspectives, and include our voice in the conversation. And while we're doing that, we're going to wait for the black kings to put on their full armor and fight and protect us. We're going to wait, but we're going to continue to do the work we need to be doing and showing up for ourselves. Right? Because I know you're coming. I know you're going to come and get it together. Listen. All I want us to do is grow and glow together. Talk about some hard conversations in our communities with one another. Let's just think about how we treat one another. Because if we don't treat each other well, who else will? How can we expect anybody else to treat us the way we don't treat ourselves? We can't. So I'm not waiting on any white person or any other person. I'm waiting on my brothers, my black kings, because kings will protect, not just provide, but protect as well. Listen, let's grow and glow together. Be blessed, be safe. Leave your comments. Pushback? I would love to hear your comments. Is this like, what are you talking about, Monica? You know, you just far off. You just triggered so much. You can even tell me to shut up. That's okay. Be blessed. I love you.